Once you get that done, then you'll just see it come out like no problem. It'll come out like butter. It'll be so gratifying and so satisfying. Not only that, but now you'll have far more clear skin. Hey gorgeous gals, welcome back to Contour Image, where I help you build confidence through your image. My name is Sharon Ports and I'm a California licensed esthetician, and today we're going to be talking about blackheads. Recently I have been starting to look at Reddit posts and have decided to kind of make some of these videos so that I can talk about certain skin issues that people are having and are coming up with, where I could probably answer some of those questions. So on Reddit, I noticed a lot of people have been writing about their skin issues and what they can do about it. And the thing about Reddit or Quora or any of these kinds of forums, they can be really great to get some information from as far as what's been going on with people in their skin, what they're facing, what the problems are. And I've dealt with a lot of people over a period of time with different skin types, different kinds of skin, different kinds of problems, situations. And so I wanted to share with you what I think could help some of these conditions that we come up with. And today we're going to talk about blackheads. And I'm going to show you this post and this picture that someone wrote in. And it was very short, simple, sweet, to the point. And there were some comments on them as well as to, what they suggest you could do to fix it and so on and so forth. I don't know if I'm going to go through those comments. If you do want me to go through them in later videos, it might take a while depending on the comments. But if that is something that you're interested in, you can write that down in the comment box down below. But for now, I'm going to show you this comment. Like I said, it was very short and sweet. And the question was, how do I get rid of these? Now, the picture shows, it looks like someone's forehead because we see a hairline. And it looks like a guy. That doesn't really matter, but I'm just kind of showing you what I can kind of identify and see. And he drew the lines here of the blue arrows to kind of ask, what are these? So he's noticing three particularly in this area. And what these are blackheads. As you can see, most people would kind of identify that. You can tell by, they're actually really nice blackheads. And what I mean by that is some of them they're very clear and concise to know that they are blackheads. And you can almost see that they come up almost like they were going to make a whitehead, but then it kind of sinks right in instead. So it's like a donut hole. And I know many of you are like wanting to pinch and squeeze them out right now, which would be really the only way to really get those out. The only question about that is you could do some damage, and there's such an easier way to get rid of and pull out the blackheads without causing any damage or problem. The other thing I want to point out to you about the kind of the skin, the way it looks from where I'm seeing it, you're going to notice that there's like these vertical lines, almost like there's a plastic sheet over the skin. And this is telling me right here, right now, that he's got extremely dehydrated skin. And dehydrated skin can show up in different ways, the way it looks and feels on particular parts of the face or even the body. But in this case, I can tell that this is one way to identify dry, dehydrated skin. I know he doesn't have dry skin type. There's a huge difference here between dry skin type and just a dry skin condition. And I can immediately tell that he does produce oil, mainly because of the shininess I see a little bit. I can't really say how much he puts on, because since this is the forehead area, this is also generally in the T-zone area as well, where most people will generate a good amount of oil in that area. So I could not tell you what his skin type is, other than I know it's not dry. But he does have these blackheads. Now, I'll tell you exactly how to get these out quite easily and quickly, and they'll just kind of pop out and they'll come out like butter without any damage to the skin or anything. And what you want to do in order to do that is you need your skin to be hydrated. Now, drinking water excessively is not going to help you in this circumstance, especially right now when you need to get these out. What I usually focus on a lot in my practice is really hydrating the skin. Hydration is one of the biggest and most important parts of skincare. If there's one thing you could fix with your skin, I would say it would probably be hydrating your skin, because a lot of people's skin tend to be dehydrated, especially when it comes to their lifestyle, their climate, how they spend their free time, what they do for a living. Our skin also naturally pulls out water out of our skin. And certainly more in drier climates, people who live in drier climates for sure need to be hydrating their skin. Now, I just recently moved, well, I didn't recently, I moved to Arizona 6 years next month. It will be 6 years here. And I'm not living in Phoenix area where it is an oven during the summer. I moved to a little higher of an climate where there is, we do tend to have monsoons and things throughout the year, or mainly in the summertime, which is really nice. That helps hydrate. But I've also experienced very dry summers here, like 2-3 years in a row, and I could not stand it. So I focus a lot when it comes to hydrating the skin. So if this person walked into my office right now, one of the first things I do after looking through their skin and kind of noticing these things, I would first obviously cleanse their skin with the appropriate cleanser for their skin type. And then I would exfoliate their skin, and I would not use a rub scrub. I call them rub scrubs because you're rubbing to scrub them. A lot of those tend to be damaging. I don't even like the ones that are made well for the skin where you even have perfectly rounded beads in them. I'm not really big on those just because I don't feel like you really need them except for maybe some circumstances of the skin of what's going on. I don't find that to be, I haven't used a rub scrub for years, and I have very smooth, soft skin, the way it should be. And one of the things, one of the ways I would exfoliate is using a gentle enzyme. A lot of times with enzymes will be mixed with medium grade peels. Now, you will not actually peel unless it's super, super dry skin. You might have some spots that needed some help taking off. Those might just peel a little bit, but you're not going to be peeling like those major deep chemical peels. I'm not talking about those. They call them peels because they remove some layers of the skin, very small amounts, especially when it's a home use. And what are enzymes? They come from fruits, and they help dissolve the keratin, which are the skin cells. What the medium grade peel mixed in with it will help dissolve the sebum, which is the oil that is keeping the skin cells on top of the skin. So the first thing I would want to do is use something gentle like that. And I would normally, depending on the kind I would put on, normally stays on for about 10 minutes or so, especially if it's a home use one. You would just follow the instructions on the packaging of how long it states to put it on. And the other thing about enzymes is you want to keep it active. And the way you keep it active is using a facial steamer. It's just kind of keeping it still moist, a little bit wet and damp, and that keeps the enzymes working. The minute they dry, they kind of just stop. And then it's just on your skin for no reason. So you want to keep them going for the duration of the time that you're going to be leaving it on your skin. I have noticed too, if it's an enzyme that does have a medium grade peel, a lot of times you might feel some tingling in some areas. I usually feel it around my upper lip. You might feel it maybe in your cheek area or chin, or maybe just around the eye area, or maybe sometimes the forehead. It just depends on your skin. Maybe if there's a sensitive area in there, maybe, there's maybe a little bit of damage or something there. That could be it too. But once it's time to take it off, which you would wipe it off with a nice warm, damp washcloth or towel in a gentle way. You're not going to be scrubbing it off. You're just going to gently wipe it off. The next thing I would want to do after toning, because then I would tone next, and then I'd want to use a gel mask. That's going to hydrate your skin. Gel masks aren't very commonly advertised like clay masks are. And I don't know why, because not everyone needs a clay mask and not everyone needs a clay mask all throughout their face. Those are really to help suck and absorb out excess oil. They don't necessarily purify your skin like they claim it to. They simply just suck out oil and they suck out water. So you got to be mindful of those. Otherwise now you're going to be getting dehydrated skin. So what I would do next is put on a gel mask. I'd let that sit on for 10, maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes, somewhere in that general area, because I would want their skin to really soak up a lot of water. And what I like to do also is use the steamer a little bit too, to keep it not only active and moist, because again, once it dries, it kind of stops, but I would also just allow it to keep the skin warm. Now, the only people that I would not use a steamer on is if you have capora skin or something like rosacea. You will react poorly to heat, so I would never use that on someone with that kind of skin condition. But for the average person, I should be able to use a steamer on you, at least gently keeping the skin wet and moist, keeping it active, keeping it going. Once I gently wipe that off, the next thing I would do is I would possibly be able to go in and start squeezing those out very gently at a good, just really easily. Sometimes you may need more than one session before you finally get to the point where the skin is hydrated enough to where it'll just release the blackhead. Because a lot of times when it's dehydrated, water helps things glide and slip. When there's no water there, you're not going to be able to glide and slip it out. The skin will just hold onto it like mortar, and it will not release it. And then you'll be sitting there and you're doing damage to your skin and you're making it really hard. So if you do have blackheads and you're wanting to get them out, the first thing I'd say is you need to exfoliate properly and definitely hydrate your skin appropriately as well. And it may take more than one session. If they are not coming out and you're still like it's taking some time, you might have to do another session, not on the same day. You're gonna have to give it some time. Sometimes you can rehydrate your skin the next day, but you can't do it too much where it's maybe too much for the skin. It has a lot to do with how much your skin needs water. How much more does it need water? How dehydrated is it? Once you get that done, then you'll just see it come out like no problem. It'll come out like butter. It'll be so gratifying and so satisfying. Not only that, but now you'll have far more clear skin. So that is something that I want you to understand, that if you have blackheads, this is the steps to getting them to come out appropriately and just letting the skin just release it, saying, yes, please take it out. This is how you do it. You would, of course, follow through the next steps with serums, moisturizers, and SPF if it's a day routine. If you are interested more in about skincare, and particularly your skin type, because that's really the first thing you need to understand is your skin type, because those are the products that you're going to know what to use and what not to use, and what to look for as far as the consistencies of product. And you'll understand that more if you take the quiz that I have linked down below for you. I made this quiz very easy. It's just, I think it's like 12 questions or something for you to answer. You'll get a free PDF download that you can download, and it'll brief you on what kind of products to look for, and it'll talk more about your skin type and what you can do as well as the skincare routine, a proper skincare routine. So that is what I have here for you today, and thank you so much for watching me or being here today. And just remember to stay beautiful for life.